Trash is a big problem in America. The U.S. generates 208 million tons of waste a year. Americans throw away at least 28 billion pounds of food a year. 25% of our country's food winds up in a landfill, and 13% of our world is starving. 14 billion pounds of trash is dumped into the ocean every year. Not only are we running out of land to use as landfills because of increasingly fast fill-up of the existing ones, but the toxins from these existing ones seep into our soil and groundwater and remain an environmental hazard for years. But the good thing is we can change our habits and reduce the amount of trash we create by reusing old items. Here are some ideas. Plastic bottles are recyclable, yet Americans still throw away 60 million pounds of plastic in landfills yearly. Bottled water wastes fossil fuels, and their production could fuel up to 1.5 million cars for a year. Instead of throwing them away, we can turn them into environmentally friendly plant holders. There are 300 million tires that are scraped or dumped per year. Taking tires to a recycling center means that they get burned, and burning tires creates huge amounts of air pollution, including carcinogen. So, with a little paint, they make beautiful outdoor decorations and plant holders, and can even be made into chairs and tables. Light bulbs contain small amounts of mercury, and when they are thrown into landfills, this mercury contaminates the soil, and workers at landfills are susceptible to the mercury that is exposed. Instead of throwing them away, clean and convert them to plant holders, fish tanks, or do a DIY project to make a candle. 93% of paper comes from trees, and that's a lot of trees we're cutting just to throw away. It's so simple and so easy. Take a six-pack holder and turn it into a divider for condiments for a picnic. It looks cute and trendy and helps the environment. Americans use way too much toilet paper, and the waste that is created is enormous. We use 2,000 sheets of toilet paper per year. Not only is the paper a huge waste, but also the cardboard holding the paper together is just thrown away. Instead, turn it into a marker holder for arts and crafts, or use it to create a cool art piece. Americans threw away almost 9 million tons of glass in 2009. That glass can be recycled. Next time you come across a mason jar, don't just throw it away. It can be converted to a candle holder, a water jug, or a cool decoration. Not only will it help landfills, but it will look trendy too. People consume a lot of wine. The boxes that are used to hold them usually are not recycled and just thrown away. If you go to a local grocery store or restaurant, you can use their old wine boxes to make cool furniture like bookshelves, side tables, and desks. Plastic takes up a lot of space in American landfills. The problem with some plastic is that people do not realize it is recyclable. Although you probably wouldn't take your CD holder to a local bottle recycling center, it can still be used again. These CD holders can hold food and even be converted to cool art pieces. If you don't feel like taking those plastic water bottles in, why not go to a local pet store and buy bird food instead? Your plastic bottles can be used to create a bird feeder, and it is a really awesome way to see the wildlife around you. It's simple to make, and you save money by not buying an actual bird feeder, but making one just as usable.
It is safe to say that most people have expired credit cards, gift cards, etc. in their wallet. The one thing that all of them have in common is that they are made of a plastic resin called polyvinyl chloride, which is recyclable but often landfilled. A creative way to reuse all those plastic cards is to turn them into guitar picks. It would reduce the amount of plastic cards landfilled and be a cool new accessory for any musician. Having a box of Kleenex around is a normal thing for most people, but most of those people just throw the box away once it's empty. By not recycling tissue boxes or other paper waste, it makes up 41% of the municipal solid waste stream. An easy way to reuse tissue boxes is to turn them into bag dispensers. It's a handy and inventive way to keep things organized. Drinking a can of soda is a great way to quench anyone's thirst. However, once the can is empty, what happens next is not so great. Throwing away an aluminum can instead of recycling it wastes as much energy as pouring out half of that can's volume of gasoline. An original way to reuse soda cans yourself is to turn them into candle holders. It is a unique idea that can decrease the amount of cans thrown away. There always comes a time when you need to get a new computer. Getting rid of an old computer is a problem. Computers, cell phones, etc. are known as electric waste items, which are items that are non-renewable and may release hazardous substances into the environment if disposed of improperly. A clever way to reuse an old computer is to make a comfy bed for your cat or small dog. It's benefiting your pet and the environment. Nowadays, CDs are not used that often. However, many people still have old CDs, but they are probably scratched up. Throwing them away is not a good idea. CDs are not biodegradable, so they are burned in incinerators, which releases toxic fumes in the air. A cool way to reuse old scratched up CDs is to turn them into Christmas ornaments. It is a festive idea that can prevent CDs from being thrown away and burned. Milk is an everyday drink for most people, which results in many cartons of milk being bought. Even though milk cartons are recyclable, 500,000 tons of carton waste ended up in landfills in 2009. To prevent milk cartons from ending up in landfills, people can reuse them by turning them into storage places for materials. It's a productive and easy way to keep everything together. Paper clips is one of the most common of office supplies. However, they cannot be recycled. So once a paper clip is thrown away, it will just end up in a landfill. An effective way to reuse paper clips is to use them to organize your cables. It gives paper clips a new purpose and prevents them from just laying around or being thrown away. Egg cartons are made of a biodegradable paper base. However, when they are thrown away and not recycled, they take longer to decompose, which causes methane, a greenhouse gas, to be released in the air. A creative way to reuse old egg cartons is to turn them into a storage place for your jewelry. It's an inventive way to keep your jewelry organized. If you have an old picture frame laying around, you may be wondering what to do with it. The glass within the frame can be recycled, but the frame itself cannot. If you were to dispose of the frame altogether, it would end up in a landfill. A unique way to reuse an old picture frame is to turn it into a serving tray. It is a new and decorative way to show off the frame and to keep it from the landfills.